Hi traders, and welcome to my video on the moving average and MACD EA that I have developed for the MT4 trading platform. Please help yourself to a copy using the link in the description below and by visiting my website, where you will also find numerous other expert advisors that are free for the MT4 platform. Okay, so in this video I'm just going to run through the moving average and MACD EA, including the settings, how you can use it. Okay, so we have the MT4 platform and the strategy tester here. I've loaded the moving average and MACD EA as you can see there. Okay, for the symbol, we're going to use the euro dollar. You can use this EA on any trading instrument, Forex, stocks, cryptos, commodities, indices, etc. For the time frame, we're going to use the 1 hour charts. You can use any chart time frame. I just prefer the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily simply because they contain more price data, which from my experience gives more reliable signals. Okay, for the testing model, we can use open prices only because the EA does calculate the indicators based on open prices. However, you may want to fine-tune settings with every tick testing, as this will contain intrabar prices, which is important when it comes to stop loss, take profit, spreads, trailing stop, break even, etc. For the date, we'll just test the past month just so you can get an idea of how the EA works. Okay, you can see here on the chart I've already ran a test in the past month. I'm just gonna go through now what the settings are. And okay, so for that test, the moving average was set to true and the MACD zero line was set to true. So what that means is that when price is above the moving average and the MACD is above the zero line, place a buy trade, as you can see there. Okay, and on the contrary, when price is below the moving average and the MACD is below the zero line, place a sell trade, as you can see there. Okay, buy trade, price above the moving average and the MACD above zero. Sell trade, buy trade, sell trade. Sell trade because the MACD is below zero and the price is below the MA, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is without using stop loss or take profit, just to show you how the EA works as it is. What I wouldn't do in this scenario is I wouldn't have taken long trades. Okay, for starters, we can see that we have reached a resistance here with a triple top formation. Basically, that means the resistance has been tested at least 3 times. And then we had price breakout below this support level here. In fact, that's a nice wedge formation we were seeing. Price breakout to the downside. Support then becomes resistance and we have a nice downwards move. In fact, I would have taken a trade on this breakout here. Again, a wedge pattern and a nice M formation as well. So the signs were there for a nice sell trade into this downtrend. Had you taken that with no EAs or no indicators, that's just pure price action trending, you know, potential of over 400 pips. I mean, that just emphasizes for me the fact that you don't need magical indicators. You know, if you know how to read price well and you time your entry and breakouts using trend line support and resistance, you can put together a good strategy with a stop loss just above this high here, which would have been around 15 to 20 pips. Not bad. And as price was falling down, I just would have moved the stop loss from that position just above the highs. Okay, followed the price all the way down. Above the highs, when price drops here, move it above the high. When price drops here, move it above the high. Price drops here, move it above the high. So the stop loss, we could have basically caught the majority of this move. And to be honest, when I seen the market make higher lows here, I probably would have looked to close the position. You could have obviously closed part of the position on the way down. Appreciate I've gone off on a tangent a bit there, but I just wanted to show it'd be rude for me not to point out you know, what I can see on the chart. I'm not just going to turn around and say, yeah, this EA is amazing. Okay, so price action trading for you there. Okay, we didn't even need the indicators for that. But that being said, let's take a look at the, sorry, actually, before I do that, as I said, because we were in the point I was getting at is because we knew we were in a downtrend, we wouldn't have taken buy trades. So you can, in the EAs, just set the positions to short only because we know we're in a downtrend, just as you set them to long only in an uptrend. And you just run the test then, open the chart, and you can see we were in a downtrend. So when you took sell trades and things look a lot better already, we avoid all those losses. However, you know, I wouldn't want to close on an opposite signal. Once I'm in here at this good trade, I don't want to close on an opposite signal because that's what's happening here. So I would turn off close opposite signal. I set that to false, but then we'd need to use a stop loss. 25 pips is fine for the 1 hour chart, in my opinion. And if we put take profit 100, and then let's see the results then. We open the chart. And again, we're not exiting prematurely. Well, we are exiting prematurely, but not as often as we were in the previous example. Okay, you can see the sell trade, 100 pips, 100 pips, 100 pips. Things look decent. However, again, I would have liked to have just taken this initial trade and rode it, rid the trend as much as possible. Okay, that way, if we, even if we're wrong with a few trades and we take a 20 pip loss here, 20 pip loss there, when we do eventually catch a big move, we can make back our losses and then some. Okay. So how can we get around that? Well, what we can do is, as I said, I'd use a trailing stop. I just put the stop loss above the highs here and here and here and just follow it down. If you do get taken out prematurely, you can always look to re-enter, of course, on other breakouts on the way down. Just draw your support if in a downtrend, or resistance if you're in an uptrend, and trade the breakouts. Okay, ample opportunity for everyone to jump in on this trend. You don't want to you don't want to sell too low and get caught in a bear trap. So, if you've missed out on all of this, you are going to be a bit late to the party. Ideally, you want to get in as early as possible. Nice pullback here, M chart formation, and a breakout again to the downside. Ample opportunities to bank on this move. So what we could do is we could put take off the take profit. Don't close on opposite signal, but instead we can use a trailing stop and a break even. So if we set the trailing stop and break even to true, we'll optimize these. Optimization basically means that you check this box of the setting you want to optimize in the MT4 strategy tester, choose the values you want to optimize, and the strategy tester will do all combinations of various settings to see which perform the best. So I'll illustrate for you now. So we want to optimize the break-even point, starting at 20 pips, going up in 20 pips, and stopping at 100 pips. Same for the trailing gap. 20, that's where you start. This is how the steps you take, and this is where you stop. So that would be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay. Close percent is if you want to close a percentage of the trade. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we want to test closing 0%, 25%, and 75%. And the minimum lot to close, basically the EA will stop closing the trade once the remaining position is the minimum lot is below the open position. And we have the lot set to 1 here. So if we had minimum lot close set to 2, it wouldn't close any of the position, okay? Because the lots are below the minimum lot to close. But we'll just optimize that 0.25 up to 1.25, okay? Yeah, and let's click optimization, click start, and basically the strategy tester does all the different combinations of the break even, the trading gap, the close percent, and the minimum lot, all the settings we chose. We can sort them by profit, trades, profit factor, drawdown, expected payoff, etc. So we choose that one there, click start. Sorry, that was a bit quick, but if you double click, it will load those settings into the EA for you, okay? And we click start to run the test. We open the chart. And you can see with that setting, we were able to capture the majority of this move. This is a 1 hour chart, so you probably would have been able to just peek back at your charts every now and then and manually put your stop loss where you want it. As I said, I put it above the recent highs myself. And I would have deactivated from as soon as I seen these lower highs here, I would have deactivated the EA, because I just wait for a new trend to form, whether that's going to be an uptrend or a downtrend. So this sell trade I wouldn't have actually have taken, just because we're running the strategy tester to the end of the month. It did actually pick up that trade, but we wouldn't have shorted there in any case, because we don't want to sell at or near the low. Okay, we would have waited for another breakout to the downside, or even an uptrend to form, and then in that instance the EA would have been set to trade long only. Okay, so now we will look at the other EA settings. Just to clarify again, okay, so here's an uptrend. If we were in this instance and we could see the market trending upwards, I just have the EA set to trade long only. Okay, I wouldn't be interested in taking short trades against the trend, but you can trade as you want. I just believe, as they say, the trend is your friend, so can make my life a lot easier by trading with the trend. I mean, you see this downwards trend. Well, I don't know why you'd buy against that. You can catch, 300 to 400 pips, in one big move, especially on the higher chart timeframes by trading with the trend. And I'd rather do that than try and scalp a few pips on the 1 minute or 5 minute chart and just, pull your hair out, get stressed, just trying to get a few pips here and there when in a month you can get a few hundred pips in a trade or two. Okay. So the other EA settings I'm going to go through now. You have your pop-up alerts, which you can set to true or false. When these are set to true, it basically means that the platform will give you a pop-up notification with a sound if you have sounds enabled, and then from then on you can decide what you'd like to do, if you'd like to act or just check your chart. This is handy if you want to track multiple charts at once. Say, for example, you could have 10 charts open, 20 charts, 50 charts, however many charts you like, and just be monitoring them all with the EA, and then you'll get a pop-up saying, okay, buy signal on the euro dollar 1 hour chart, for example, or a sell signal on the pound dollar 4 hour chart, and it's a good way to monitor multiple charts, something that would take you a long time to do yourself manually. Email alerts and SM alerts will basically send those trading signals via email or SMS. Okay, this is handy if you're away from your platform, perhaps out and about on the go, even relaxing on the sofa, and you just want an alert because you need to act if a certain event happens. You can set those to true. Use trading when that's set to true. It means that the EA can actually trade for you and place a position and manage it. You can have, use trading set to true and email alert set to true. For example, in this instance, you would the EA will place a trade and you get an email saying there's been a signal, and then you can just check your platform and manage the trade accordingly. Okay. Days filter is self-explanatory. You can choose the days of the week the EA will trade. Hours filter are the same. You can choose the hours to start and the hours to end. Magic number, this is basically the order ID. So this is helpful if you are running multiple expert advisors on the same platform and you don't want them to clash. You can just change the order IDs. Maximum spread and maximum slippage, they do exactly what they say, and that basically means that the EA will avoid given signals or trading if the spread or slippage is above these values. These values are in pips and are set to 5 by default. This is just to help avoid trading in unfavorable market conditions. Okay, so to the money management, open orders limit. This is the maximum number of simultaneous buy and sell trades that can be open at any one time. Okay, so if it's set to 1, it means that the EA can open a maximum of 1 buy and or sell trade at any time. Okay, lots, that's the position size that the EA will take for you. The EA will use lots if you have user set to false. If you have user set to true, the EA will ignore the lots field and calculate the lots automatically depending on the value you have set in the risk percent field. So it's set to 2 by default, which basically means the EA will calculate the lot size or the position size so that is the equivalent to 2% of the account balance. Okay. Stop loss and take profit, self-explanatory. Close opposite signal. This basically means, as I was showing you earlier, if there's a signal in the opposite direction, any open trade will be closed. Break even and trailing stop we've covered. This can be a good way to lock in profits. Don't let winning trades turn into losing ones and try to maximize moves as much as possible. However, there are limitations, as I explained, such as, I like to put my stop loss on the highs or the lows, recent highs, recent lows, which the EA instead just uses these rigid levels, which, can be handy if you're not around to adjust the stop loss. Okay, and you can also close percent of the trade and stop closing after a certain amount. Okay, so now this is the nitty-gritty, which is the trading strategy implemented within the EA. I do have EAs like where they just use just the moving average or just the MACD, or they use the moving average, the MACD with the RSI, CCI, stochastic ADX, Bollinger Bands, envelopes, ATR volumes, alligator, everything. Okay, but this particular EA uses the moving average and the MACD. So you do have a few options. you have just using a moving average. So if you have just that set, if you have just this one set to true, basically means if price is above the moving average, buy, if price is below, sell. Okay, and you can choose the moving average, simple moving average value there. That's the period of the SMA. Okay, moving average crossover, this actually uses two moving averages. Okay, so with the moving average crossover price, the fast moving average will need to be above the slow moving average for a buy trade. And the fast moving average will need to be below the slow moving average for a sell trade. Okay, let me just reset the settings and show you what I mean. So I just put that on true, use trade into true, we'll just do one lot. We won't use the stop loss and take profit just for this showing you how the trades work. I'm just going to use close on opposite signal. Okay, I'm going to do the moving average crossover. Should we go for, let's go, we'll just leave it on the default 14 and 35 visual mode, and we will run that for you now. Okay. Oh, I didn't have long trades enabled, so long and short. Okay, I will make the longer moving average a different color just so we're clear. So basically what this did is it sold when they crossed below and bought when they crossed above. Okay, so sell, crossover buy, crossover sell, buy, sell, crossover buy, crossover sell, buy. Do you see my point? Okay. Not the worst graph in the world, but as I said, I'd be only looking to take short trades in a downtrend like this regardless. So if we just put short only and just run that, not too bad, not too bad. We did exit on a crossover again. As I said, I'd like to still stay in this initial trade. My stop loss, when the exit was taken, then my stop loss probably would have been here. And then as price continued dropping, I wouldn't have exited there. I would have just moved my stop loss here and then here and trailed it down. But obviously, there's limitations to the EA. And we can avoid that by just turning off close on opposite signal as we did before. Okay, and then that trade would just remain open until either the take profits reached or the break even / trailing gap is utilized. Okay, and again, we wouldn't be looking to sell when we know we're not in an established trend over here. Just wait for a trend to form and then look for our sell signals, or in an uptrend, we'd be looking for our buy signals. So crossover there and a crossover there, although it's quite high up in this particular trend. Okay, so that's how the moving average crossover works. And the moving average, which just uses the one moving average. The MACD 0 line and the MACD trend line, well, I'll just show you them. Okay, so if we set the MACD 0 line to true and run that, MACD 0 line means basically buy when the, just zoom in, make it clearer for you. The MACD 0 line will be buy when the MACD goes above the 0 line, sell when it goes below. See, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy above, sell below, buy above, sell below. Okay. Again, I wouldn't just willy-nilly buy and sell using this strategy, but if we're in a downtrend and you want to sell every time the MACD crosses below, then that might not be a bad idea. So we can just, let's just set it to sell only. And if we zoom out, okay, not too bad. So we sold there, price crossed above, exit, sold there. So not the worst in the world. Again, I would have preferred to manually manage that, but still it was okay. So that is the MACD 0 line and the MACD trend. Let me just show you that. Set the MACD trend to true. Long and short, run that. And this is basically when the MACD crosses below the signal line sell, when it crosses above the signal line buy, okay? So you can see there's quite a lot of trades all over the place here because it's crossing quite often. But as I said, if we know we're in a downtrend or an uptrend, we're just trading that direction. However, this is not an ideal strategy in my humble opinion, simply because, for example, you can see the MACD moving up here. We do have a crossover below, but you would be selling near the low of that particular move there, I'd probably want to wait for a bit more of a pullback and a breach of the support. But that being said, it's not the worst trade in the world, and then you do have a crossover entry there. Okay. Pullback. This can be good for identifying pullbacks as well if you want to get an alert when the MACD crosses above, just to tell you that there's been a pullback, which may be a good time for you to start looking for an entry. For example, if you've got an alert, there's been a crossover to the upside here, you can quickly come, draw your support and wait for breakout and hop in on this trend like so. Same here, pullback alert, okay, and check, draw your support and look to enter in the trend that way. Okay, so they're the various elements. MACD trend, zero line, you can combine them as well, so you can have a MACD trend and zero line both have to agree. So we run that. So it will sell when the MACD is below zero and also below the trend line, and buy when the MACD is above zero and above the trend line as well. So you can just combine the settings as you deem necessary. Okay, so that's all the settings covered in the strategies. You can also optimize the EA if you wish. Don't know if you're familiar with optimizations, but as I mentioned earlier, you just choose the values that you wish to optimize. Okay, so let's just go all out and optimize all of the indicator set to true and false, and let's just do a few. Optimize the periods a bit. Why not? Let's start 6. Let's go 30. Should we leave it on 26? 26, 52. And the slow, just do 9, 18. I'll go 36 on that one. Okay. And then what we can do is, if you have genetic algorithm checked here, the EA will do, the strategy tester will combine the settings to do what it thinks will produce the best results. If you uncheck that, it will do every possible combination, which can take a long time depending on how many settings you've chosen and the power of your computer. So I like to leave this checked. Then we click start. Need to click optimization first. Click start. And it'll just basically run all the different combinations of those various settings. Okay. And give us the results of each. And as I said earlier, you can just double click any of them and it will load those settings into the EA. You can always save them and load them if you attach the EA to your chart at a later date or whatever. And then, so that was the past month. That's our optimized settings for the past month. Now be careful of over optimization, which is basically when you do as many combinations of settings as possible, kind of like what we just did, until you find good results, because that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good strategy. That means you've just curve fitted or over optimized for the data set that you're using the past month in this instance. Okay, I'm pretty sure if we go to the past year and run those same settings, the results are not as good, because in fact it crashed out. And why is that? That is because we optimize the settings only for a particular data set. Okay, so what some developers will do is they'll optimize over, say, 5 years, get a good settings and package it up and sell it as the best EA ever made, when in fact they've just curve fitted the settings to a particular historical data. Like if we, okay, so we just did an optimization for the last year. We've got this results. They look decent. Looks like we might have a good EA, but we've curve fitted to the past 10, 11 months of data, because if we go back another year and run the exact same settings, well, they're not terrible, but they're still not ideal, because we've just over optimized for the past year. We can optimize back for another 2 years if we want. It doesn't mean that if you get good results optimizing for 5 years or 10 years or even 20 years that it's a good strategy. Like we've got a decent set there from the last 2 years. We run that. It looks decent, let's package it and sell it. No, let's not do that, because these are over optimized settings. It's like throwing what at a wall and hoping some sticks. Okay, and eventually you will get good settings like this, but moving forward the results will be completely different, because it's just over optimized to fit the data that you're testing on. The exception to this rule for me is when there is an expert advisor that uses the exact same settings on multiple currency pairs or other trading instruments and has proven, like with tick tests for 10, 20 years, historical data, and ideally verified live accounts as well, but years of consistent settings across multiple instruments producing good results, because that shows me there's some logic behind the strategy rather than let's just do every variation of periods and settings for the MACD and the moving average or whatever indicator you're using till we find something that works. We're not going to go, oh great, we've got this now, then this must be a good setting. Well, no, it's because we've done an optimization and we've coincidentally found some good settings for data that we're using. That being said, there will be instances where it may be a good strategy. It just may be a really good combination of indicators and so on and so forth. But with my free EAs, they're there just for you to customize as you please and just to try and make your life a bit easier. Perhaps you don't want to scan multiple charts at the same time. You don't want to sit at your computer chart watching. You might be an avid user of the MACD and you just want the free MACD EA to give you MACD alerts. You can do that. That's simple. But what these are not are robots that claim to make you $1 million. Load it on your chart. It comes with a set file and you make $1 million by the morning. No, that's not what we're about here. We're just providing you with tools to make your life easier and just trying to encourage good trading principles, like as I was saying, marking the resistance, support, knowing your candlestick patterns, drawing your trend lines, just honing there. We're watching this triple top formation. We can see the market starts making these lower highs. In fact, you've got a support level there. Okay, support, breakout, support becomes resistance. Again, this support line then's breached, becomes resistance. You've got a 3 inside down candlestick formation there. Is basically a bullish candle followed by a bearish candle that is 50% of the bullish candle's body, and then another bearish candle that breaks below the bullish candle. In fact, we've got another 3 inside down there as well. Bullish candle, bearish candle, 50% of the bullish candle's body. Another bearish candle that breaks below the bullish candle's body. And no coincidence, the market dropped. The traders were watching these levels and trading them. Okay, we didn't need no magic here, as I said, or indicators for that. Good money management, we could have caught a big trend like this. And as I said, even if you take a few losses here and there, if you cut losing trades short and let winning trades run, in my opinion, it can be a good long-term strategy. Okay, hopefully that's covered everything with the expert advisor. Feel free to use it as much as you want. There are no limitations. If you have any questions, just let me know. Please like and subscribe. It will really help my channel. Appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one.